Previously on C++ tutorial.
The number of values, the number of data you want to put into that one variable.
This time on C++ tutorial.
The last tutorial I've shown you 1D array. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to go beyond 1D. Hello everybody, this is King Tut here and welcome to the video. If you find this video for the first time and you're on YouTube or BitChute, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're on Vlare, be sure to like and follow. If you're on Library, be sure to follow and download. Thank you. You're not limited to 1D array. There are 2D, 3D arrays, and so on and so forth. And that's all called multidimensional array. And what does that even mean, multidimensional array? So multidimensional array is basically array inside an array inside an array. For example, 2D array is an array inside of an array. Kind of like Inception, kind of like Matrix, or your favorite science fiction movies. That's basically what it does, if you want to have that mentality. So in other words, each index is its own array. For example, a 2D array is going to consist of the amount of 1D arrays. It's pretty confusing, but once you used and practice multidimensional array, you'll understand it. So what we'll be using is 2D and 3D array for the sake of this tutorial, because I don't see any point in using more than 3D array, and it's really cumbersome. So let's do 2D array first. 2D array, it's the same declaration as 1D array, except you're going to have two brackets, and the assignments will be different. So let's do int, and let's do tiles. Two-dimensional array is really useful for tile mapping, which I'm going to show you a taste of it by using a console. But when we're getting to game development, I'll show you how useful the 2D array is while you're making tile mapping. So you need two brackets, and each one you need to give it its size. So the first bracket is going to be the amount of the curly braces inside that one big curly brace. So let's just use 5. And then the other bracket is going to be how much values you're going to put into these curly braces. So let's put 5 as well. So let's put equal. And this is the easiest way to assign a 2D array and even 3D array, because if you try to do the other way, I never done the other way, but I could imagine it's really cumbersome. Okay, so you need to put the curly braces, and then the first bracket is, like I said, it's the amount of curly brace you put inside of this curly brace. So since it's 5, let's put 5 curly brace and separate each one by a comma. Okay, and an easier way to assign it and improve upon the readability is to do this. Let's press enter and make it look like a matrix. That way you don't have to when you're coding and you find a mistake, you don't have to worry about where you made your mistake. It's right there, it's readable. So I'm just going to put a bunch of numbers. Okay, whoops. And there you go. And don't forget to end this with a semicolon, or else you'll get errors. If you want to print this 2D array, you need 2 for loops, as that method is the best method to print out, to be used in 2D array. So let's just implement 2 for loops. For int I, 0, let's begin it at 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus. And let's do another for loop. So this for loop here is for this index, for this bracket. The other for loop will be for this bracket. So int j equals 0, it's going to begin at 0, and at 4, j will be less than 5. And then j plus plus. Let's put these curly braces, and then let's output tiles, and then put these 2 brackets, and inside of these brackets you put you put the variable of the first for loop, so it's I, and the variable from the second for loop, which is j. And oh no, let's not end this line, let's end the line after this for loop is executed, and I'll show you why. So we want to print this in the form of a matrix. If you guys have Algebra 2 or linear algebra, you'll understand what a matrix is. For those of you who don't, it's basically this. It's basically values inside a huge bracket, and you just put a bunch of numbers in one row, the next row, the third row. Depends on, until you decided that's enough number. There's more in depth of matrix, but I'm giving you a very easy definition. It's just a bunch of numbers shaped like a rectangle or a square. That's what it is. It's really useful for many other things, in science mostly. So when I run this program, it should show these numbers in a matrix form. Alright, so let's run this. And it did print out as we expected. Let's do a 3D array. This is going to get cumbersome. So I'm going to reduce the size from 5 to 3 because it's really easy, and we don't want, it's going to be a lot of work doing 5 by 5 by 5. Now that's what you usually say in multidimensional array. You say it like you're describing a size of a cube or the size of a house. You get the idea. So 3 by 3 by 3. So let's take out all of this. Let's take out all of this. the first bracket is going to be 3 curly braces. The second bracket, we're not going to put values because it's not 2D array, it's 3D. So the second bracket is going to be the amount of curly braces inside these curly braces. So let's just put 3 and separate each one by a comma. Also these ones as well. Alright, and let's do it this way. Just for readability. Okay, and the third bracket is going to be the values you're going to put in all of these curly braces. So you could follow along if you want to, but I'm going to be putting some numbers in it. Okay. The 3D array doesn't work the same way as 2D array. It's more of a 3D matrix. But I can't really print it out because it's just gonna look weird, and the console it's not gonna show what it looks like. But what it does, if I print it out, it's gonna print out this. This will be stacked on top of it, and this will be stacked on top of that. So let me tell you again. This is going to be printed. It's just ideally. This is going to be printed. This will be stacked on top of the first one. And the third part will be stacked on top of this part. But we can't show it on the console. The console cannot allow us to do it. Console does things in 2D, and that's it. Console doesn't do 3D. But if you wanted to print all of these bunch of, what do you call it, sheets or mini matrices or something, I think I'm just gonna call it mini matrices. But if you want to print all of these out, you need one more for loop. So let's do for. Forgot to put int in there. So let's declare k and start with 0, and then end it at 4, and then increment it by 1. And then let's cut this and paste it. So what I did here is Control X and then Control V. Control X is to cut, Control V is to paste. And then put another C out, and then just end that line. So that way, what's going to do here, it's going to print this matrix, and it's going to do an enter. It's going to leave an empty line. It's going to print this. It's going to leave another empty line, and it's going to print this, and the program will quit. And to print this, inside of all these 3 for loop, you need cout, and then you need 3 brackets. So the first 2 brackets is fine. You need 1 more bracket, and let's just put k. Also, you need to change the value. All right, let's run this program. Okay, so as we see here, it printed out this as we expected, the same number. Then it printed out the second set of it, and then lastly print out this. That's all it did, and it printed out as we expected. Let's do something practical with 2D. Let's do something really cool. So let's just do 3x3 for now, and then just take out all these values, and also take out all of this, and let's straighten all the values. Okay, and let's do Control X to cut this, and then let's take out the extra for loop, and then paste it, Control V to paste inside these 2 for loops, and let's take out cout and del and line. Okay, and instead of using cout and printing all of this, let's do something else. Let's do a switch case statement. And in this switch case statement, if these numbers happen to be a certain value, we just print out a symbol or a special character. So I'll show you what I mean. Switch, let's do a switch statement. Tiles and J. Let's make case 0. So if the tile happens to be 0, and don't forget to put in break, as I mentioned in the switch case tutorial. And let's print out hashtag and just put a semicolon. And let's do another case. If the value happens to be 1, let's have it print out a $, because why not? And then let's put in case 2. So if the value of tiles happens to be 2, we could print out the asterisk. So what's going to do is it's going to replace all of these numbers into symbols. That's all it's going to do. And that's pretty much what tile mapping is. It's using all the numbers and it's replacing it with an image that you have made and loaded into the program. So you basically have a taste of tile mapping. Let's run this program and see what it looks like. And it looks weird, but it actually did the trick. It replaced every number with a symbol as we expected. Hope this helps, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.